Hello and welcome back in this very special video. As you can see, let me just yep. As you can see, this is a replica of the legendary 1977 Austin Mini. As we all know, the Mini Cooper or the Austin Mini, the original design was an absolute superb design. A little small car with a lot of space, a lot of space inside because of the clever design of the engineers back then when they designed it. Absolute perfect. The engine itself, that tiny four-cylinder. Is it four-cylinder? I think it's a four-cylinder engine. Yeah, that tiny engine in the front, the gearbox, the suspension, the tires, the seats, everything was simple, basic, reliable, and of course very practical and very compact. That was the whole idea of the Mini, a car for the people, a car that anyone can buy, anyone can enjoy, and basically anyone loved the Mini. A lot of Mini enthusiasts, you can see them in Australia, in the UK, even in the US, even in the Middle East. You can see a lot of guys are really in love with the Minis, the classic ones, not the modern ones, because the modern Mini, it's a big car. It's not small as it used to be, and of course it's very compact, and it's not reliable as it used to be, because with time the Mini got more and more complicated, especially after BMW bought it. And yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong, I like toys in the cars. I like to get in and to find like an amazing spaceship material infotainment system with a lot of options, but the original Mini was very pure, very awesome, very lightweight, and very amazing to drive. So as you can see, this is an upgraded version. This is, as you can see, the famously green lime color, and of course the black hood or the black bonnet, as the UK guys will call it, will tell you the whole story of this absolute magnificence. I tried really hard to do a replica, or to copy actually, the legendary Mr. Bean Austin Mini, or the Mini itself, his own Mini Cooper. Or I don't know, was he driving a Mini Cooper or a regular Mini Austin? I don't know actually. If you know what kind of version he used to drive, I would love to know that, because I truly love Mr. Bean, and I still enjoy watching it even these days. Especially me and my little brother, we always love to watch his original show and his animation show. So I would love to know which version of the Austin Mini he drove. Is it a Mini Cooper? Is it a regular one, a classic one? What kind of engine his car was equipped with? I would love to know all of these details. If you know them, I would love to read them in the comment section below. So I tried really hard googling this car, and like zooming in on the grille, on the front headlights, of course, and on the side mirrors, everything. I tried so hard to do an exact copy of his car, but as you can see, it's not really perfect. I'm gonna say like it's 90% perfect, I'm gonna say, and the remaining 10%, the truly eagle eye fan will of course will spot all of these difference. But I tried really hard, and I hope that you like it, guys. So in this version, I'm not gonna use the 39 horsepower engine that was that the Mini came equipped with. That engine was really reliable, really good, really perfect for the weight and the whole package of the Mini. But I want to give the Mini something extra, and there has been actually a cool requested video on the channel Snapchat group to use an Austin Mini body and stick a V8 in it and put it in the rear. But unfortunately, as you can see, the only two options are front transverse and front longitudinal. And yeah, there is no rear mounted engine or mid mounted engine. As you can see, we don't have any of these options, so I'm gonna stick the engine in front. And I like the idea of a V8, but what kind of V8? Because I don't want to put like a 6-liter V8 in the front with 1,000 horsepower. It will be idiotic, because the Mini itself is extremely lightweight car, and you don't need so much power to enjoy it. Like, really, I'm not kidding, 100 horsepower, it's like a 500 horsepower version of a regular car. That's how light the Mini is. And I truly kept thinking, and I tried like a V6, and I also tried a tiny V8, a big V8, and I settled with what you will see in a minute. So if you want to see, if you want to request a current a replica of a current engine or a car or a custom car, of course if the game can support it, please add my Snapchat. It's Lord Bas94, Lord BAS94, so I can add you on the Snapchat group, hopefully, so I can make your ad as so I can make your requested video as quickly as possible. And if not, maybe because I'm busy, but I'm gonna try really hard to make your requested video. And alright, so remember, before we start with all of the specs, I will remember that if you enjoy the video, hit that like button. Remember to hit that like button, get subscribed, share the video if you want to share it. And now we can start with all of the specs. As you can see, welcome back to 1977, where this version of the Mini, the version that I've chosen, was made in 1977, and which I truly like the shape of it, especially the 77 version, because it came with an amazing looking grille and with tiny bit of differences from other versions of Mini. So that's why I chose this version. I'm not really sure if the 77 model was used by Mr. Bean himself or not. I would love to know in the comment section below, as I mentioned before, which version of the Mini he was driving, 77, 67, whatever version. I would love to hear it and to see it in the comment section below. But since I love Mr. Bean so much, or especially his show, his car, and basically everything he do, and since I love the 77 model, I combined them in a single car, as you can see. So what we have here is simple corrosion resisting steel panels, because if I want to do it with an aluminium to make it extremely more lightweight, I mean, I can do that, of course, it's easily, but it will not be a mass-produced vehicle, and no, I want to make it as a mass-produced vehicle. So corrosion-resisting steel for the panels, monocoque chassis, not ladder, because well, it's a tiny car with a monocoque, it will work perfectly. So monocoque chassis type, also corrosion-resisting steel for the chassis material. Front transverse. To be honest with you, when I start making the Mini, I made it with a front longitudinal engine placement, and I truly perfected this car so much. I kept tweaking the suspension, the gearbox, the spacing, the final drive, everything to an absolute perfection, and I reached a very amazing acceleration and very amazing time around the test track. But I thought, well, if I want to make a longitudinal engine placement, there will be like a cutoff or a cut in the middle of the chassis, so it can suit, you know, the gearbox and the drive shaft all the way to the rear differential. And no, that will kill the idea of a compact Mini. I don't want a tunnel in the middle so the drive shaft can go from the gearbox to the rear differential. I don't want that. I want it to be just a straight floor, no tunnels, nothing. So that's why I kept everything mechanical, the engine, the gearbox, the differential, everything in the front, nothing in the middle, and just a basic suspension in the rear to keep it also cheap and reliable, and of course lightweight. So I went back here to the chassis, and I've chosen front transverse, and I tried really hard with the McPherson strut front suspension and torsion beam rear suspension setup to make it as perfect as possible, and I actually achieved that, a very amazing, and actually it got even faster with a transverse engine placement compared to a longitudinal. The same engine, I did not change the engine, same engine as it used to be as a longitudinal. I just switched it around, switched the gear, the old gearbox with a brand new gearbox, so it can send power to the front wheels, and the car got more grippy, more faster acceleration, faster time around the test track, and it went perfectly. So I kept it. The +1 quality on the chassis. This is the beast that I've chosen to power this absolute replica of a Mini. As you can see, it's an obvious a V-shaped 90 degrees 8-cylinder engine, so it's a V8 made from cast iron. Yes, I know it's a heavy material to make, but I don't want to go with the aluminium block material, because the car will start to be a supercar, it will start to be very expensive, and I want to keep it simple. So cast iron block, 68.5mm on the bore, 67.8mm on the stroke. So as you can see, the engine has a small stroke with a big of a bore a little bit, and that will equal 1999cc engine, so it's a 2-liter V8 engine. I also want to keep it simple. Going with push rods, it will actually, as you can see, it will require more time to be engineered, and it will be rubbish. I truly hate the push rod head and valve option in automation game. This is a rubbish option. It will never work. It will be hideous, and it will require more time actually to be produced. So the best option is, if you want to go with a classic engine, go with a direct acting overhead cam. It will work better, you will have more power, more torque, it will require less time to be engineered. It's, let me see, is it cheaper? It's a little bit more expensive, like 83 on the push rods, this is 99, a little bit more expensive. And yes, a little bit more heavy, like extra 9 kilos, but the results, I mean, the results will speak for themselves. Like a lot of horsepower and torque difference. You can push the RPM limit so much higher than a regular push rod, and of course it will require less time to be engineered, and that's very important. Cast iron cylinder heads, also for the same reason. We have, yes, and this is what, and I actually, to be honest with you, I started making this V8 with a regular crossplane crankshaft. Sounded amazing, sounded like an absolute true beast, but when you look at a Mini, you will not expect a really loud V8 engine, a really loud crossplane V8 engine, because this is not like an American-made car with a big V8 in the front. No, this is a tiny British car. So I thought to myself, if I'm gonna keep the V8 in it, I might well switch to a flat plane so I can make it more to make the sound of it. I'm not talking about the engine smoothness, no, because the engine smoothness will actually be worsened. It will be ruined actually with when you use a flat plane. It will get worse actually. The engine with a cross plane will get more smoother. So yeah, I'm not talking about engine smoothness. I'm talking about the exhaust note smoothness. So it will be like a hum instead of the bubbleness or the hum. What do they call it? The burpness of the crossplane V8. You get what you will know what I mean when I start this engine, when I fire it up. Cast iron or cast connecting rods, cast pistons, regular ones, no need to use any higher ones. Zero quality. With 8.3 to 1 is the compression ratio. I really want to push the compression ratio more, because as you can see we have a lot of octane value. Actually I can push it 2 extra degrees, so it can be 8.5 to 1, but if I increase it even a little bit more, the fun market will decrease a lot, and I don't care, and I don't understand why the fun market will decrease, or the customers will hate the car with more compression ratio. I mean, yes, we can run the engine normally, so that's what they want. I kept it like this. 64 on the cam profile, so it's a sporty cam profile, as you can see. No technologies, this is 1977, zero quality, naturally aspirated. And yes, I tried to make the engine with carburetors because I want to keep it simple, but I couldn't achieve good amount of power and torque with carburetors. I need to use, because with a single carburetor you can never achieve a good amount of horsepower, not like in real life. In real life, if you have a V8, a big American V8, you can put a modern Holley carburetor, a really modern one, a really expensive one, and the engine will work better than it used to be before. But in the automation game, carburetors, well, they are rubbish actually, really rubbish. So when I had the chance to put a fuel injection, the engine got more efficient. The engine ran on lower octane values, and actually it cost a little bit more, like only 73. You see this $73 difference with a 4-barrel carburetor. It went with $700, $773. That's the difference. $73 extra. I mean, $73, I mean, yes, it was a lot of money back then, but when you are talking about building an engine, $73, it's not that much actually to get extra fuel efficiency, to get of course a lower octane value, so you can run the engine on lower octane fuel. So all of this is a great potential and a great thing to go with actually. And the engine actually got more reliable, to be honest. Yeah, it got more reliable with mechanical fuel injection, although I don't understand why, because I always see classic cars with mechanical fuel injection, and they are just oh my god, how can I say it in English? They are just living their worst nightmares with the mechanical fuel pump, or with the piping, or whatever technologies this fuel system uses. And yes, like it requires some kind of a professional mechanic to fix these to fix the mechanical fuel pump if it got, if it got broken, or maybe ruined or something. So yes, it requires a little bit of maintenance. Unlike a carburetor is a very simple option to use on a classic engine, because like in the 70s, 60s, everyone, and I mean everyone, understands carburetors. Like a young kid, really a school kid, can just open your hood and tweak your carburetor to perfection in the 60s, 70s, because everyone got used to the idea of carburetors. But mechanical fuel injection, well, that was very early back then, and it wasn't really as much reliable as today's fuel injection. But as I mentioned before, it's a little bit more expensive, but the results are much better. And yes, and I don't understand why, but the engine got more reliable. Single throttle body, because well, this is not a racing engine, so a single one will do just fine. Performance intake manifold, because I want a good amount of horsepower, and I want the engine to sound like a true horsepower, like a true high performance engine. I'm using regular 91 octane fuel, unleaded fuel, not leaded, unleaded fuel. 13.8 is the air fuel ratio, 61 on the ignition timing, 7000 is the RPM limit, with the engine RPM limit with 0 quality. We have short cast headers, single exhaust pipe, because the Mini uses a single exhaust pipe. 2-inch exhaust diameter, that's because of a single exhaust pipe you need to push the diameter a little bit higher than usual, but with a dual exhaust pipe I can set it on 1.3 inch and job done. But it will get more heavier, so a single one will be a good retrofit for the Mini, and of course it will work just fine. And as I mentioned before, with my previous build with the limousine, I went without a catalytic converter for this build, because 1977 there will be some petrol stations that are still selling leaded fuel. And yes, if you want to fill the car with leaded fuel, as you can see, the engine will keep on running, no problem, but the emissions will get a little bit higher, as you can see. So yeah, that's why I went without catalytic converter, so you can run the engine on any kind of fuel you find. Baffled front muffler, well, I want to silence the engine a little bit, and I don't get it actually. In the 70s, like 1977, a baffled actually muffler, it will perform better than a reverse flow or straight through muffler. I don't understand why. Let me check again. I want to check again. This is baffled. This is straight through. As you can see, the customer is hating it so much. I don't know why the customers prefer it. I truly like a straight through muffler is actually, let me see. So actually, I think I understand why, because the straight through muffler, yes, it's good, it will provide more power, more torque, but look at the difference in loudness. This is baffled, this is straight through. Baffled is still much quieter, and only 1 horsepower difference, and a straight through will actually make the engine less efficient, and it will require more cooling, and it will be getting much heavier. Now I understand why the customers actually want it. So first baffled muffler, no second muffler, and 0 quality on the exhaust system. So this is the final result: 130.3 horsepower at 6,700 RPM, 118.6 pound-feet of torque. The engine reliability is 52.4, which I mentioned before in my previous video. At 52 points in 1970 or 1965 or 1969, whatever, like from 1960 to 1980, a 50 point or 60 point is just perfect. The engine is very reliable. This is not rubbish engine, but in 2018 52 points is just rubbish. But since we are in the 77, this is perfect. Fuel efficiency, as I mentioned, the engine is super efficient actually. I know 11.5% it's not efficient. It's not as efficient as the original engine for the Mini, but still efficient, not bad. The octane value, as you can see, we are running low on 90.2, which is good if you want to run the engine on a regular unleaded or regular leaded. It will work on both ways. Engineering time, production units, low, which is good. The engine is a little bit heavy, I admit that. Noise, the engine has a sporty noise to it. It's responsive, which is good. It's medium smoothness, which is also not bad. So let's fire this tiny beast. Listen to the flat plane. This is what I meant with the note. As you can see, this is how the engine looks. The engine looks like an absolute beauty. Actually, the mechanical fuel injection, the intake manifold, the direct acting, as you can see, valve covers with the short cast headers looks like an absolute true beast. With of course the air box or the air cleaner box, there is like an injection word on it, which looks like an absolute beast. Alright, so let's move on. As you can see, this is it. This is 1955 sedan. As you can see, there are a lot of versions like a wagon, a pickup, even a van, which is really awesome. Zero quality on the body and the fixtures, and I've chosen this beautiful, where is it? This is eco green for the body, and this brutal black for the bonnet itself, and everything like the bumpers, the trims, everything is made from chrome, which like the original Mini was made from. I don't know the original Mini if these were like nickel or chrome or whatever material they used, but you get the idea. They are shiny chrome. So let's move on. The fixtures are very simple. These round classic headlights, also round classic indicators. This front beautiful grille, as you can see, chromed around the edges and blackened in the middle like the original Mini. The front company logo. These chromed side mirrors, the door handles, the fuel filler cap, and these beautiful looking taillights, the license plate holder, it's like a handle here, the company logo, as you can see, the boot handle or the trunk handle. These are the hinges for the trunk, and of course the single exhaust pipe. Looks like an absolute beast. And of course these classic, as you can see, 3-knot wheel, as you can see, looking absolute beautiful. So as you can see, transverse, front wheel drive, manual gearbox, 5 ratios, or 4 ratios, 4 speeds. The final drive is 4.03 to 1 or 194 km/h on the gearbox top speed with 33 on the spacing. Let me push this button again. Yeah, open differential, zero quality, and all of this will give me 0 to 100 time in 6.9 seconds, which is super, and I mean super quick compared to the original Mini, with 2.4% of wheel spin and, as you can see, 194 km/h on the gearbox top speed. So if you want to know the difference between the original Mini, like acceleration and like 0 to 100 time, tell you it's simple as that. Let me just search it, because you will be surprised actually with the facts and the numbers of the original car. Because the original car, I believe, yes, because the original car came with a 39 horsepower 4-cylinder engine, and it went from, oh my god, from 0 to 60 miles per hour, or from 0 to 100 kilometers per hour in 17.8 seconds. I'm not kidding. No, sorry, 0 to 60 miles per hour. Sorry, 0 to 100 kilometers per hour in 19.7 seconds. Oh my god. 0 to 100 kilometers per hour in 19.7 seconds. This is from 0 to 100 kilometers per hour in 6.9 seconds. Check out the difference from 19.7 to 6.9 seconds. This is like a supercar, a super mini. A quarter mile, it says in the old car was 20.6 seconds. We will check that at the end of the video. So let's continue. We have a radial hard long life tires, 155 as you can see is the tire width, front and rear. 15 is the front rim offset, 25 is the rear rim offset, 11 inch is the tire rim diameter, with 445 is the tire diameter, with steel rims, not magnesium, not alloy, because that's what the customers demanded, with +1 quality on the tires and rims. Ventilated front disc brakes with single piston on the brake caliper, 195 millimeters. Solid discs in the rear, single piston also, 175 millimeters on the rear rotor size, with 74 on the pad type, and 75% of the brake power goes to the front, 25% goes to the rear, with 0 quality and no brake fading. As you can see, stopping distance is just perfect. Fully clad under tray. I know this was like a little bit more expensive option, but I need to require a little bit more engineering, but the results are superb. Like the results or the difference between non-under tray and a fully clad under tray, like with like 2 seconds on the test track time. I promise you, 2-second difference between a fully clad and non-under tray. So I went with a fully clad because it made this car more efficient, or more economical, and more quick around the test track. 53 on the engine cooling, 100 on the brake cooling, with 0 quality. We have 4 seats, standard interior, basic AM radio, 0 quality on the interior, with hydraulic power steering. Yes, we have a power steering here. No traction aids. 60 standard 60s safety equipments, with 0 quality on both. We have a progressive springs, gas monotube dampers, passive sway bars, and a pretty much very custom suspension setup. As you can see, let me check something here. So if I want to so we have a little bit of bottoming out. We have a little bit of bottoming out, which I generally don't like. So the car is bottoming out like a little bit if you put heavy people in it. I think if you put heavy people in it, or if you go like on a speed bump in a hurry, yes, it will scratch itself, as you can see, but it looks very cool actually. Let's see, the ride height is very perfect. As you can see, the shoe test will work just fine. There is not much wheel gap. As you can see, it's still comfortable, it's still sporty. Yeah, because as you can see, increasing the ride height, it will result in really bad results, like, and the customers will hate it so much. I mean, the customers, they want their car to get even lower, but I don't want to slam it even lower because it will start to bottom out really hard. So I'm gonna stick with it like this, because there is no harm of 0.1%. I mean, you have to be careful around these speed bumps, as we all do. Like no one will fly on a speed bump, right? Everyone will slow down on speed bumps. So yeah, it will work perfect. So let's see, sway bars thickness 400 in the front, 1600 on the rear. Dampers stiffness 1.60 in the front, 1.40 in the rear. Spring stiffness 2.0 front, 1.80 on the rear. The camber is minus 1.9 degrees on the front, positive 0.5 degree of camber on the rear, positive camber. And the ride height is 131.1 millimeters, and my throat is starting to hurt from too much talking, with +1 quality on the suspension. So the top speed, because of the aerodynamics and everything else and the drag of the car, it was reduced from 190 km per hour to 179 or 180 actually. The car can do 180 km per hour. As I mentioned, 0 to 100 time in 6.91 seconds, extremely quick. Quarter mile times in 15.43 seconds, and the original car did it in 20 seconds. It did it in 20.6 seconds, and this is 15.45. 5-second difference, or 4.5. What an absolute... Actually, no, 5-second difference. Wow, that's amazing. No brake fading, stopping distance is perfect. No, this is not a towing machine, and it can get loaded with 353.3 kilograms of people or cargo, and it will run no problem. Power to weight ratio, as you can see, very good. Power weight distribution, 66% in the front, 33.3% on the rear, and the car total weight is 721 kilograms, which is super lightweight. Now, as you can see, I already ran it around the automation test track. It did 2 minutes 35.98. Let's run it again and see if this will change or not. Alright, so it did it on 2 minutes 35.98, which is very good actually. And as you saw, as I mentioned, it says here 179 is the top speed. It actually went 182 kilometers per hour. As I mentioned, it can go 182, which is very quickly. Now let's go to the market mode, but no, before we go to the market, let me go to the airfield test track and show you the time. So it did it in 1 minute 33.98 seconds, which is not bad, really not bad. A truly beautiful and very beautifully handling car with a powerful torque engine in the front, lightweight, very lightweight car, good handling, very compact, very amazing, and it looks very cool, and it still has that amazing true spirit of the original Mini. And it's very quick. It's not bad. I mean, the acceleration, it's very modern even in today's standards, which is really cool actually, and it still looks very cool and very lightweight, very compact, and very tiny. If you want to drive it on the street, check out how tiny it is. Check out how small this car is. Absolute perfection. And if you pay close attention, that's our engine over there. And if we go back to engine, the engine room, if you look over there, that's our mini replica. That's very awesome. So as you can see, this is the mini build or the mini replica build. Now let's go to the market. As you can see, this is the market. Engineering time, it won't take that much long. Production units, very perfect, and it can do 15.6 miles per gallon. Yes, I know it's not like the original mini. The original mini, I think, and I'm sure it can do even more than this. But with the V8 in the front, well, that's why it's 15.6. And yeah, as you can see, it's very practical. It has some utility points, not bad. Well, this is not important, but 11 points, that's not bad. The car is very reliable, 67 points, that's very good. Nearly 70, which is perfect. Environmental resistant, that's very also good. It's very drivable, it's sporty. Well, it has some comfortable things like hydraulic power steering, good comfortable interior, but the suspension is a little bit harsh than usual, because I want to keep it I want it to go around the test track with a good handling package, not as a comfortable lazy car. It's a prestigious car, it's not bad. I mean, 20 points, yes, it's not a lot, but still not bad. And it's safe, 27 points, that's not bad as well. And with 10% margin, it will cost you $9,785. Even with 10-20%, 30%, like 11,000, 50%, 13,000, that's still extremely cheap. I promise you this, that's still extremely cheap for a V8 Mini. It's the upgraded Mr. Beam version, which is really awesome. So please, I'm really happy with the end result. So please remember that if you enjoyed the video, hit that like button, get subscribed, share the video, and tell me what you think about this car in the comment section below, because this car, it's truly amazing, and I'm really happy with the end result. So as some fans has requested before, like they want to see how do I take good pictures for the YouTube video, like how the thumbnail as they call it. How can I take great pictures? You go to the open photo scene mode. As you can see, you need to go here. This is, as you can see, it will start looking like this. So this is like a photo studio, or yes, a photo studio, but I don't like to take any pictures here, so I always choose like a white mirror, as have you already seen on my videos, on my YouTube pictures. Like sometimes I go with a white mirror, sometimes I go with a black mirror, or even a dark mirror, because it will look absolutely great. It's not bad, as you can see. And sometimes I go to the small factory. I mean, the small factory, it's a very good place with good scenes to take pictures in, but it will require a good amount of time to be loaded, because it's a heavy file. It's not a lightweight file at all. And there is also in the future a huge factory, but it's still work in progress. So we only have this small factory map for now, or scene for now. As you can see, this is the small factory. We have this road, we have a lot of places. So this is the intersection. We have the road. You can take pictures of the car on the road itself. You can rotate it, make it to face the camera. You can enjoy it. You can go to the corner if you want to take picture of the car, handling a corner. You can do that. You can do that like this. What is it? Car setting. Just rotate the car like to a good, like that. Let's say 100 maybe, or so 119, and then you need to tilt the steering wheel a little bit, so you can tell people that the car is currently taking a corner, as you can see. And then you need to set the camera like, let's say like so, maybe. Maybe a little bit more like this. Show the automation badge. Go to the camera setting. What is it? Focus on the car. The aperture maxed on. Maybe not so much. The camera tilt. You can tilt the camera, and then you can have a perfect picture. You can play. I always choose 4K as a desktop wallpaper, because yes, all my desktop wallpapers are from all of the cars that I always do, and I actually like this picture. I think I'm gonna put it on YouTube as well. So here it is, 1080p picture. So this is the corner. You can also go to the car park. Where is it? Here we go. We have a car park, as you can see. The company is over there. This is also a very good picture. Let's see, time of day. Let's go a little bit like a sunset scene. Make the bumper to shine a little bit. Let's see what else. Steering wheel. We can go back to 0 because there is no corner here. Focus on the car, and then go to post processing and put a little bit of vignette in it, like 510, and yes, it will look perfect like this. Now you can take a 4K picture. Absolute perfection. Now we can go to another place like the hilltop if you want to film your car, or sorry, take a picture of your car on the hilltop. Here's the, where is it? Here's the sunset over there behind the trees. As you can see, the trees are actually moving, so it's a lifetime. So it's like a lifetime moving. It's a moving time. Where this is not a stop time. Time is moving, which is really awesome. And also a very good picture also here. So yes, you can also focus on the car. Focus. Yeah, picture is looking good. 4K. You can take another pictures like from the back if you want to show everyone the rear of the vehicle. Not bad also. It's up to you, my friend. Now let's go to highway. This is work in progress. This is not good yet. There is the forest road if you want to film the car in the forest, you know, it's like driving. Yes, if you want to film it like this, like driving like this, or maybe if you want to go to the front and film the car like being driven in the forest like this, it's actually not bad. Let me, yes, like this in the evening. I wish if the headlights can turn on, it will look even much better. Here it is. Here we go in the morning. This is actually morning or early noon. You can choose the world rotation. You can rotate the world if you want, like this maybe. Let's see what else. Camera focus, perfect. Maybe also a YouTube picture, I don't know. So this is how you take pictures, my friend. There's also a hoist, which I don't understand. I mean, hoist should be all around, like hoists are like mechanical, or the mechanic hoist, or mechanical, or the mechanic, what they call the car lift. I think that's the hoists, I think. I don't understand what does hoist mean, but if you want to take a picture with automation, the automation logo like this, it's also not bad. If you want to take a picture like this, it's also very good, but we need a little bit more light. So let's go to the noon like this and take a picture now. So you can see there are a lot of options to take good and amazing pictures of any car you want. That's how I always take pictures of any car that I build in automation game. And if you want to get the whole profile, because I have a big profile with all my car pictures, if you want to get this profile, get added on my Snapchat group. Just add my Snapchat. It's Lord Bas94, Lord Bas94, so you can get the link of my profile, my car profile, or my car photos profile, so you can download it, use it as a desktop wallpapers, as your mobile wallpapers, anything you want, you can download it. It's free, don't worry. Just get added on the Snapchat group. So thank you so much, guys, for watching. I truly hope that you enjoyed this amazing video. The car itself is so much perfect. I cannot wait to drive it when the BeamNG update will be available very soon at the 13th of July, so I can drive it in the game. So I can drift it, I can accelerate with it, I can try cornering with it. It will be an absolute treat. So thank you so much for watching. I'm gonna see you very soon, and goodbye for now, my friends.